Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday morning. End of the work week, beginning of the weekend. So yeah, glory to God. God bless you all, and I love you all, and thank you all for watching so very much. We are going to go into the weather world today, and kind of look at a few things. But we're gonna start off with Weather Bell. It's a great site. We're going to look at our 45-day outlook just to get a broad perspective to start us off. Okay, so this is from yesterday's run. Notice how we're seeing snow in the USA. This is your official start to the snow season. As you know, the snow season merely simply means when we start to see the snows in the USA. And when they start and when they end, that's your snow season. It has really not much at all to do with the dates. It can occur and end any day it wants to, really, just to get a broad, better perspective on that. Days, next 46 days of temps looks like this, but I want to break this up into increments because I want to see if it gets colder towards the end of this 45-day period. We're just going to fast forward through this. So, it remains very warm. Wow. That's very warm fall. I mean, it does start to get colder in Mexico, which is interesting, but nothing significantly noteworthy to me. Then we take a look at our 45-day precip anomalies, and again, bone dry in the Mississippi River Valley. Again, bone dry in the in the Western Atlantic, in the Caribbean, and the Gulf. So again, not much is going to happen. Your source region is cut off in the Atlantic Ocean due to the shear and trade winds of the um, equatorial Pacific. Because essentially, I love this scientific breakdown, but when you get a warm body of water, warm always moves to cold because I think that's how it works. Let's just say that works for hypothetical purposes because I'll explain the truth of the matter and the facts in a second. But say, for whatever reason, the El Nino is going in a wind direction where the pressure is less, which is why you get more windy conditions over the Atlantic Ocean, which essentially makes it drier because you cut off all the cloud tops from forming and ultimately major spin ups of hurricanes forming. You just completely dismantle and discombobulate the whole process. So it's kind of interesting. That cuts off all of your precip and all of the source regions of precip. So um, interesting and funny how that works. But here in the equatorial Pacific, it's um just totally wet. Let's take a look. I mean, this is asininely insane and outrageous. How you could just get a broader scope of the Atlantic Ocean. The very development regions you want to see highly precipitable in the Atlantic are covered in red, which means ain't no hurricanes coming to the USA, at least unless you get a pop-up one, but I don't even think that'll happen. Point is, you look in the Pacific Ocean, geez, oh man, this is like a big, the amount of rain this is generating. As I said, this El Nino is our sourced region for energy, and there it is, energy at its best. You get the water evaporating, you get it coming down as precip, that's energy, and it's going to be a lot of precip in these areas, man. I'm I don't know if I can read this chart here down here, but I believe, yeah, it doesn't give me like a very uh good criteria on what this chart is symbolizing. So I'm gonna guess this means 125% above normal, and I don't even know if that's right. The point is, here in the blue, right where the equatorial Pacific waters are setting up, there's going to be a lot of precip. So again, that is our source region for energy this winter, which is where the MJO pulse will be setting up. North Atlantic oscillation wants to spike positive, but my gut feeling says ain't no not gonna happen here. Again, just using my gut. But again, you see it's been negative since about August 1st. Now we're nearing September, easily 30 days of negativity. Funny thing is, it's not going to put a dent in what the El Nino is producing in the pattern, which is extraordinary warmth. So now we look at something very important. So if this El Nino is overwhelming the pattern right now for warmth, how in the world are we going to get a snowy winter? The Mordecai is the answer. The Mordecai overrides, obviously, as we see this year. There are many forecasted models who are now converging on a very cold and snowy winter. The Modici El Nino is going to simply override the power and strength and the warmth of the El Nino, which is very interesting, I think, because if you get a Modici El Nino, you're guaranteed a cold and snowy winter. I'm becoming more and more convinced of that as I am on this 16-year journey of weather experimental research and updating YouTube with you all. So, anyways, our 2-meter air temperature anomalies for December and January and February are very cold. And again, we have our Modici. So for those who still doubt me, let's go to our Modici forecast, our actual chart, which shows us not subjectively, based off my own opinion of looking at the map, but factually and objectively where we are. So right now, obviously, we're not in a Modici, but we're forecasted a Modici as winter comes on, which is why, yes, the warmth is overwhelming the pattern right now because of the strength of the super warm El Nino. But as this heads into a Modici, there's big reason to believe that's why the models are predicting a very cold winter, because right as we hit into November, December, and January, there's our Modici, and the El Nino temperature hasn't changed. It's still a super El Nino, so watch out. This Modici means business. Watch this. Why does a Modici El Nino make a cold USA winter? Let's see what we have. I want to ask you, honestly, AI. So there. So why can okay, not exactly what I wanted. So I am going to ask AI. AI is a beautiful tool I love to use. Hold on 1 second. Ask chat GPT. So again, I might get cut off. If you get anything from this video, know I'll do plentiful more updates today. So we're going to use chat GPT. See, I'm going to ask it a question. That's not what I wanted. Goodness. Ask chat GPT. I just want chat GPT. Okay. Okay, let's ask chat GPT. Why does Mordecai El Nino produce cold winters? Okay, see what it has. All right, I gotta check the time because I don't want to cut you guys off. It's me being cut off too. Wouldn't be beneficial to either one of us. So see how much time I have left. Okay, I have plenty of time. I have over a minute. So I have way under what I need. So El Nino shifts. I'm sorry, Mordecai El Nino shifts the center of warming to the Central Pacific. Keyword, alters atmospheric pressure patterns. Key, pushes the polar jet further south. Key. Okay, so you get troughing in the south. And if you get troughing in the south, you're going to get troughing in the north too, because it pushes the entire polar jet south. So everything's game on northward because you're getting the coldest of the air set up south. So you have cold air spilling over the top, even colder. All right, this movement allows frigid Arctic air to spill down into regions that typically experience milder conditions. Okay, so that's why the Mordecai is so powerful in producing their cold winters, is because it makes the it brings the polar jet south. So, in a sense, this El Nino is going to be, this is your surprise. This winter, and understand what I'm saying, because I'm not speaking like literally, but we're going to have a La Nina and an El Nino because of the conditions it will produce. It will resemble that. More to come.